Hey, hi, Lana. Thank you for coming on. It's actually Saturday now. Like I see your thing, it says 12:06. Yep, 12:08 for me. Yeah, it's Saturday. We already missed Friday. Just went. Well, thank you for coming on. It's one of those funny nights where um, I don't know what happened today, but there's no one on the internet that I can find. I can't find anybody that I normally see every day. I can't find them. So I don't know. Hey, Linda. Hi. So thank you for coming on. Hi, Chi. Hi, Chi. Thank you for coming on. It's so weird. Hi, M. Sweet baby love, Tori. Verity. Hi. Make sure to tell me where you're from because I can't remember it. Zachary's live, bottoms up. I remember your name, that's for sure. And your name's Zachary. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Yep, nobody was out really after the folks in Austin. Oh, that's right. A bunch of people went to Austin and then a bunch of people went to Florida. I just talked to Danny and Leah, and I think the writer and his son, and they're all in a car going to Clearwater. And they had the music going, and they just hit Florida when I went on the thing. It was really fun. And yeah, Dogs Unite Against Scientology. Now that is a classic Nick. You saw two people at Blue today and people at La Poubelle. Okay. All right. So I guess they're just not posting about it. But I almost didn't do anything because I thought, well, maybe everybody went to Clearwater and you're partying and that's it. And then I thought, well, I'll just do one about parties because, I thought maybe there's some of you and we're not there. So we'll do it here. We'll have our own party. Hello from the Marcab Confederacy. Thank you very much. And Riverside County, all right. Drifter Shelley. You have to come in sometime, Drifter, because you're not too far away. So, anyway, yeah, the SPTV guys in Clearwater are having a big party. And then there's a party in Austin, Texas. So they're doing a protest party, both of them. And it looks like they're having a lot of fun. I mean, that's one fun thing about the internet now is we can kind of watch things and see how it's going. You were referring to Zachary being live at Poubelle. Oh, okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you, Bottoms Up. Hi, Lily Eve. Thank you for clarifying that. I didn't know that. Boy, that's late. He's still there? That's right. They're open till 1, I think. Okay. I heard DOA say he doesn't like doing Fridays. Right. Yeah, we've all kind of agreed Friday night is not a good night to protest because if they do their swatting, then it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a long weekend. Whereas if you do Saturday or even Sunday, it's better. But I hopefully went out to the beach because he deserves a break. He does. All right. So Audit LA was at the Burbank location tonight. That's right. I talked to them too, and they were there. That was fun. It was fun to talk to them. They looked like they were having a pretty good time. So Audit LA was at the place Jess was attacked at a couple nights ago. Yeah. And she was there tonight. Yeah. Amanda and a boy was LA Odd funny tonight. Okay. Oh, you're talking to Amanda. I gotcha. Zach is somewhere else in Hollywood covering an LAPD traffic stop. Okay, these guys get around. They really do. I mean, I love watching Jessica when she gets in her car and she's driving around. She's a trip. I don't know if you guys saw when she decided she was going to buy a building, a Scientology building. It was early on when I first, started watching her. And she got in her car and went to Home Depot. And I'm thinking, what is this woman doing, right? And she bought, and there's a video of it on it. It's really funny. And she bought 2 orange buckets and then a for sale sign. And she said it's for sale by Xenu. And then she put the buckets out in front of the testing center with the for sale sign, just on this side of it. So it wasn't on their side of it. And she was it looked like she was selling the building, but she was selling the buckets, and Chris was with her. It was really funny. It was really, really funny, because they just kept saying, "Do you want to buy the buckets? Or do you want to make a bid, $1, $2? It was sort of like they were acting like they were selling the building. It was very funny. Anyway, she's a character. So there you go on that. Bottoms up, yes. So Amanda Beaumont, that's good. So I'm glad you guys are here. So I was going to tell you just a little bit about partying, because I grew up, my mother was a big party animal. And, she was sort of like, rather than just rake the leaves, because we lived in Chicago in a suburb, right? So it was like, rather than, hi, Good SP, you just left La Poubelle. Okay, wait, I walked inside that place just to look around, and it stinks in there. I had to walk out. Yeah, I did the same thing. I walked in that blue thing, and it was just icky. It just felt really icky. It was like, ugh. So I get it. Do you want to just do a Q&A, or do you want me to talk to you about parties? You guys tell me. I personally get a bit tense with the live streams while driving. Yeah, I agree with that. That concerns me too. Hi, Tori. Forgot to say from New Zealand. All right, Amanda. Lucky you. That's another place I really want to go. New Zealand and Australia are two places I really want to go. And I want to go visit my brother in Thailand. So one of these days, his birthday is now, because today's the 13th, but in Thailand, it'll be the 14th, within, maybe it is now, so he's probably partying and having a big bash and everything. He's a crazy guy. Anyway, I'll talk about the parties, and then if you want to do a Q&A, you just ask me questions. I grew up, Lake Zurich, yeah, Zurich, I know that. I grew up in Park Ridge, which is, it's almost by O'Hare. Supposed to get on live after a supervisor got a few calls. Okay. Happy birthday to your brother. Thank you. I will pass that on. Many people have sent him nice wishes. He's a good guy. You'd love him. I mean, everyone that I've ever known that knows him loves him. Even our old friends. He's in touch with all my old friends from high school. He's a character. He really is. Okay, so my mother, let's say you live in an area where there's a lot of leaves, like you have fall. Like out here, we don't really have fall, but in the Midwest, they have fall, and the leaves all fall, and you have to rake the leaves, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So my mother would have a leaf raking party, and she would send out invitations. She was really cute. She'd send out a paper invitation with a little rake drawn on it, and she'd say, bring a rake, wear your rags. We're going to rake the lawn, because we had a kind of a double lot. So it was like a lot of leaves. It took forever. So she said, we're going to rake the lawn, and then we'll have a party. And she'd feed everybody, and it'd just be a giant. And the thing that's neat about something like that is you're doing something together. So by the time you party, it's just really fun instead of just standing around talking. It's really neat. I like it. So anyway, she had those. And then, of course, Easter, we always had Easter stuff, because we were Catholic. So we had Easter, they'd hide all the eggs and stuff like that. So that was fun. All the holidays and stuff like that. She was a maniac on that. And in fact, I looked on one of the Lake Forest, because they moved from Park Ridge to Lake Forest. And I looked on the Lake Forest stream around Halloween. And they were talking about my mom. They said, your mother used to scare us to death, because she'd always pretend she was a witch, and she was really funny. And she'd always make them come in, because they'd go like, trick or treat. And she'd always say, okay, I have a really good treat for you, but you have to come in and do a trick for me. And we'd stay home to watch. We're like, come on, Mom, they're not going to do that. And she'd say, you wait and see. They all work really hard to learn a song or a dance at school, and then they only have one time to show it. So this is their second time to show it. And I swear to God, she'd say, you can go in our music room and practice, which was just a little room with a piano and some stuff. And they'd all go in there, and they'd come out, dun, 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 and they'd be dancing around. It was amazing. We were like, I can't believe this woman does this. She was a character. So she had those kind of parties in Park Ridge. And then all the way up to Lake Forest. The final party that I remember that was just outrageous was she sent invitations around the world. She would send the invitations to different people she knew in different countries. And she would ask them, she'd pay for the postage and she'd ask them to mail them back to the United States. So they'd come back to Lake Forest from, Italy or Brazil or wherever. And so everyone thought it's got to be a big director. It must be a big director because they're all over the United States. And it was going to be a costume party. So you had to wear a costume. So she hired all these kids on the block to be paparazzi and, just go up and get autographs and everything from the different people. And these people went all out. I mean, Lake Forest has got a lot of money. And so these people, some came on horseback and some, the three, what are they? The elves, the seven dwarves. Some of them came as the seven dwarves. I mean, they all really dressed up. It was really fun. So anyway, I like parties and I think they're really fun. Then when I got, of course, Haight-Ashbury in the 60s was just a giant party all the time. And Scientology wasn't much of a party, but we had parties on the weekend. Wait a minute. Dogs United Against Scientology. Yeah, it was fun. And then we had then after I left Scientology, I was just here by myself and my roommate, and so we would have SP parties, with all the suppressives. And it started out just like 3 or 4 people, and then it was 5, and then 6, and I kept saying, bring anybody you want, and it just built and built and built. It was really fun, and we should have another one pretty soon. But anyway, they're having a big one now this weekend, so there you go. But the thing about parties is just have one, just set a date and just invite people. And people like to get together. They do. It's a fun thing. It really is. All right. So what questions do you guys have? Because I don't see anything unless I'm missing something. Did you guys leave? It doesn't look like, okay, there we go. Question. All right, there you go. Does every auditing session include the same questions? How does the auditor know what to talk about? Good question. Yeah, it's sort of like Hubbard had his Bridge to Total Freedom, and it's literally written out. It's a big paper thing, and it has every single level, and it's got the auditing side and the training side. And I have one here somewhere, but I don't know where. I'll have to dig it out. But it basically shows you all the different levels that there are. And Doug Kramer and I were friends. And then, it shows what the auditing is and what the end phenomenon. It used to show what the end phenomenon was, meaning what you were supposed to gain from it. I think they took all that off because most people didn't gain anything. But they're pretty similar questions. I mean, they can vary them a little bit, but they're pretty similar. They are. Okay, so there you go on that. And if that didn't answer it, ask me another one. Did you know Doug Kramer? Did you ever meet? Yeah, rest in peace, Greg. Doug. I miss Doug. I liked him a lot. We were just going to do an interview, and then he passed away. Okay, here's another one from Rather Bain Maui. All right. I don't know if I said that right. Do Sea Org members celebrate their birthdays with a group if they don't have a family? No. I mean, the Sea Org don't have any time to celebrate their birthdays. I mean, if anything, it would be between a couple of people together. They don't have parties or anything like that. Now, in the 90s, Miscavige started having big. What he realized is that there's a lot of people with a lot of money that are on the base. and we would all leave and go to the movies on Friday night. So when Scavenge said, okay, no dice, that's over. Everybody has to come to graduation on the Flag land base at Friday night. And they used to have it here until all the streamers came and it's kind of shut down now. But on Friday night, he kind of made it into a big party. He'd have some kind of, they always had, an announcement of people who graduated or finished this course or attested to certain auditing levels. And then they would have a big party with, I have to say, really good food. I mean, they really did. They really went all out. That was the one thing that he did that I think was the only thing that he did. And I don't even know if it was he that did it. But at Flag, under his watch, they had started having those Friday night parties, basically so people wouldn't go to the movies. They'd come and stay and do the graduation so they could have all the food afterwards and kind of see each other. It was okay. All right, so there you go on that. Hi, Tori from SLC, Utah. Now, SLC is, I don't know. Tell me what it is. Party on Tori. All right, good. I am with you guys. I'm glad you're here. From 13909. All right, good tidings from Alaska. Ooh, that's another place. I did go to Alaska on a cruise. Ooh, it's 8:20 in Scotland. I'm so happy to catch up as you got right to catch you live as I got out of bed. Okay, good. Me too. Lovett came today. She wasn't able to figure out the monetization. So if any of you are in LA and you know how to get the monetization going, I would greatly appreciate it just to get it done. I mean, DOA couldn't figure it out. He said, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I can't do it. And he apparently knows everything about computers. So I don't know if I need a new computer or what, but it would help if somebody came over. All right, now let's see. Howdy from Saskatchewan, Canada. All right. All right, now here's a question. How often approximately would a public member get auditing? That's a good question. Well, remember, auditing is by levels. So like for me, now some people bought the lower bridge. The lower bridge is like your grades and things like that. Dynetics and grades and stuff like that. They're kind of simple things. Some people paid for it to have professional auditors audit them. I thought, I'm not paying money for this stuff. I looked at it, what it was, and I got trained as an auditor. And then we co-audited. So you would audit me, I'd audit you, that kind of thing. That's how it worked. So it's nothing. It's like you have to pay for CSing, which is someone saying, okay, this is your next step. But it's, it was nothing. But you have to pay, once you have to pay, because that's only the lower bridge. Once you get onto the OT levels, you have to pay those. And then it's a matter of like how often is really how much can you afford, number one, and how much can you afford time off? Because let's say you have to go to Flag, which you do for like OT7, you have to go to Flag for that, or OT8, you have to go to the ship. Well, depending on your work and schedule, because public all work, so then it depends on when you could get off. So it just depends. Everyone's kind of different on that. Hi from the Bay Area, Michelle. Thank you. And okay. Thank you very much. I knew it was something simple. Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay. Good. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay. So there you go. So now here's another question. Good. Okay. Do you think there's special communication to the Sea Org and other members about protesters and what is happening? No. And I wonder how, in this day and age, it's kept from them. Well, I've made many, many videos and talked about it, that, Scientology is a mind control cult. So the mind control starts when you walk in the door. That's the beginning of it. And you start agreeing to things right away if you're going to do their courses. And now they have you sign things and stuff like that. Don't ever, ever, ever sign any of their stuff. And also don't ever, ever, ever give them your name or your address or your phone number, because truthfully, they will never stop hounding you. Never. I mean, it isn't like you can write them and say, I don't really care anymore. I'm not interested. No, that doesn't work. They were sending me stuff, and I'm a declared suppressive person. They were sending me stuff until I wrote to the very, very top and said, this, and I sent the letters, and I said, these are false statistics that someone is counting. I didn't think they were, but someone was, and thus they were, because it goes up line. So they stopped right away. That was the one thing that got to them. Okay, so let's see. Wait, someone asked me something. Whoa. Oh, yeah, about the protesters. I don't think so, but if they do, it's just like, oh, those are just some people that have been reading insane things on the internet. That's why we don't want you to read the internet, because look at those people. They're yelling at us, when we're a good group of people. So why are they yelling at us? You don't need to listen to them, because they're just yelling lies and false information that they're getting from the internet, from people like Tori, who's a declared suppressive person. And they wouldn't even say that, because most people really like me. Even though I know a couple of my friends definitely bought into this SP thing. I mean, one of my best friend, her son said, you don't want to know. When I first left, I came back and I said, Greg, what's going on? And he goes, you don't even want to know. My mom is saying stuff about you that is appalling. And I said, what is she saying? And he said, I honestly, I don't want to say it. And I said, okay, just say one thing. And he said, she's telling everyone that you had an affair, which was one of the OSA programs that said I had an affair. And so I called her up and I said, I had an affair? Who the fuck did I have an affair with? I was really pissed off. It was like, you're my best friend and you go out and just buy their lies and start spreading it around. So then it stayed on. They kept it on their lie thing. They had a whole thing of a program of lies about me. So I started going to every single org every single week and saying, hi, my name's Tori Chrisman, and I'm a declared suppressive, but I'd like to know who I had an affair with, because I'd like to meet him. So could you let your boss know that I'm looking for this person that I actually had an affair with that you're saying I did, which I didn't? And they finally took it off. The YouTube kid said, hey, it's gone. They took it off, which is amazing. They never take anything off. So that was kind of cool. So anyway, I don't think, but I could be wrong. Remember, I've been out for 24 years, rather be Maui. So they could be telling them stuff. I have no idea. That's what they would have said in my day. It's just like, don't even listen to it. And I wonder how to this day they can keep it from them. That's a good question, because just like me, when I finally went and wrote to Andreas, I was all by myself in my home. And I thought, well, there's that little blue link, which I think is an email. I didn't even know what email was back then. But I said, I think that's an email to Andreas. And I clicked it on and I wrote him my little note. You know what I mean? But it was super scary. It was for me. Because they keep you very much in fear of the internet, because they don't want you to look at it. Okay. No, I didn't. Did you figure out how to float the needle, or did you attempt to tell the truth? I always tried to tell the truth. I stayed in it as long as I thought it was really real. And then once I finally realized it wasn't just me, which is what they kept saying, it's just you, Tori. Everyone else is winning. You're the only one that isn't. And it wasn't until I got out that I found out, no, they weren't. They weren't winning at all. It's just no one can say it. It's like a high crime to say, I'm not winning on this. I mean, you can go to ethics and say, or cramming and say, I'm not winning on this. And they'll give you a little program to do. And you go try it again. It's just the same thing around and around and around and around. So, but no, I didn't. I know I've heard people say they made their needles float and they lied. And I just didn't. I didn't think that was cool. I still don't. I don't think it's a good idea. I think either leave or do it, but don't fake it. I just think, what's the point of that? The OT7s have to go to flag. Yeah, you do. Here's the question. Do you have to go to flag for your 6-month check? And when you're on OT7, they came up with this, which is completely out tech, it turns out. It took us a long time to find out that I mean, we thought it was, but finding the actual tech that said it was took a while, but we found it. But in the meantime, for 7 years, every 6 months, I had to go to flag. And originally, you had to stay probably a month. It was a long time because you had to do all these SAC checks and all this stuff. And it took forever. So, and then you have to come back, and then you have to go back in 6 months. And the other thing in between all that is you have to get your meter recertified. They figured that was another money-making thing. So it's like, oh, let's have them, they have to return their meters, get them checked out, and then come back. And if you ever saw these meters, they're so hokey. It's just sort of like, are you serious? And we have to pay $270? And this was in the 90s, $270, just to have it certified every 6 months. Pain in the ass. I mean, it's amazing people stay on it. I'm shocked how long I stayed on it. But a big part of it, I think, for everyone and for me, was my husband and my friends. And even my son, until I got my son out. It's considerable. That's the main reason I think people stay. Okay, do OT7s have to go to flag? Okay, we answered that. All right, here's a comment. My cousin disconnected from me. And she gets auditing in LA at someone's house. I was just curious what it involved. Thanks for your input. Okay, well, she disconnected from you, so she must think you're in touch with SPs, or you're doing something suppressive. So that's the first thing, is to, like if I had a cousin and they said, I'm not talking to you anymore. Depending on the cousin, I'd say, okay, fine, see you later. No, but, really, I think an important thing is to get with them and say, what the hell happened? We were in touch and now we're not. What happened? I need to know. I get it's your church and you've got your rules and things, but I just need to know between you and I what happened. And from your heart to my heart, what happened? And then just ask them, because it could be 1,000 things. I have no idea. Okay, here's another question. When you pay for a service rendered by the Church of Scientology, is it considered tax deductible like a donation? I knew that was going to be a tax question. I don't know why. Just the way you framed it, I thought this is a tax question. I knew it. I think it is. I don't really know. I don't. My husband always handled the taxes, so I don't really know. I think it is, because that's why we want to get rid of their tax deduction, because of that phony tax deduction, they don't pay taxes. So probably but I remember they had a big flap on it in the 90s where Miscavige said everyone has to pay taxes, because it was sort of like they were charging all the credit cards and stuff like that. And they got in a big trouble with, I think, Amex or something like that. And so then they came out with this big thing. And I think it was after he handled, so he said, the IRS. So then after that, everyone had to very stringently pay taxes. So I'm not sure as far as their services. I don't know. I really don't. Okay. But keep asking, because somebody will. Question. All right, here's another question. What do you think about the fake calls to the police department and fire department? Austin had police show up, and then 2 minutes later, the fire department. Yeah, we have that here too. We're going to try to handle that. We really are, because it's serious waste of taxpayers' dollars. and their energy and time. And it's just creepy that, they would do stuff like that. So we're going to try to talk to them, but I get where, they could, it's hard because what if it is real? So they probably have to go. But like I said, when something happened and Jessica's mother called me and asked me to call the police to get a policeman over there last week. And I said, so I called 911. And right away, they thought it was fishy because I'm in Burbank and I'm calling about Hollywood. And I said, no, here's the deal. I don't need fire trucks. I don't need an ambulance. I just want 1 or 2 policemen to go and see if there's a situation. If there is, they can call for backup. This was at the complex. And so they did. Oh, that's right. It was when the help was remember they had the help sign in the window? And so that was it because no one was coming or anything. And so Jessica's mother called me, asked me to call him. I called 911 and I said, just send 2 policemen to check it out. And then if you need backup, send more. And the 2 cops came, they didn't go in. So nobody went up to that room where it said help, which is very fishy in itself, because what if there was someone that really needed help? It really was spooky to me. And then as I left, I saw 4 more police cars were at LA Org at the other end of the whole, place. So I don't know. I still, to this day, I have never heard what happened. Okay, so anyway, that's what I think about them calling them. I think they need to get educated on what's really going on, but so do we, so we understand their point of it. But I do think my idea, like I had to explain it to her at first because she was sort of real kind of ridgy about it. And I said, look, let's say you're walking down the street and you see a help sign. Don't you think you should have at least a policeman go check it out? And she said, yeah, I do. And I said, okay, so that's all I'm asking. Just have 1 or 2 policemen go and check it out. So I think if we talk to them that way, I think what happens is Scientology calls in with these phony, we have a gas leak. And, so then they send the 3 fire trucks and the ambulance and everything else. And so we need to educate them on what's going on, because I found education has really helped with the police. All right. Now, what is this? Here's another question from Shirley Taft. What does it mean when C of S says their goal is to clear the planet, and how in their minds are they doing that? Well, it's a good question. I mean, as soon as you join Scientology, that's the stated goal, is that we're going to clear planet Earth, right? And that means, every person is going to go clear. But after you're there for a while and you realize how slow the process is, especially now, it's like hardly anybody's going clear. And so you realize, if you just do the math, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? And I forget what the second one was that you said. How in their minds are they doing that? Well, originally, I'll just speak for myself, but I think it's true for most Scientologists. You really believe we're going to clear planet Earth. And of course, they're always having these events saying, we completely handled this, or we cleared this city, or, this kind of thing. So it sounds like it's happening. Do you see what I mean? It isn't, but it sounds like it is. And you don't know that it isn't. It's just like, well, there's a number of things where stuff like that happens, where you think it's one thing, but it's really another. So it's all mind control. That's all I can say. Hey, Herms, is that it? Hi. He's saying hi. Oh, good. Thank you. I appreciate that, Marissa. Thank you. All right, now let's see. Okay, you're talking to someone else. So those things I'm not supposed to look at. I'll be catching up on the replay. Okay, Carrie. Okay, so we got those. All right, so what do you mean by the CVS says their goal? Okay, we got the clear planet. Hi, Tori in the chat. 3 days? All right, we're going to have to send you to ethics. I've missed 3 days of streams, finally back to regular streaming for me. I have missed you all from Australia. Well, Thank you, Swedish Leni. That's Lena. Yeah, we missed you too. I'm glad you're back. Have a wonderful weekend, all of you. I'm really happy you all came by because I almost wasn't going to do it because I thought, oh, maybe everybody went to Clearwater and that's it. And then I thought, then I ran into Danny and Leah and they're in their car, with the music going and everything. They just got to Florida. And I said, they were getting out of the car to stretch and I just typed in take a photograph because there was a big welcome to Florida. So they got underneath the sign and took a photograph of that. And they sounded like they're having a really good time. They did. They have a bunch of flyers they're bringing with them, and that's good. Okay. Now, what is this? SP Articus I am. Okay, thanks, Tori. My cousin disconnected because I told her my concerns about Scientology. Now I'm PTS in her eyes. Okay, so good. That helps. So what I would do is say, look, you and I need to talk, and we need to talk as a family, as family members. And I probably overstepped and said some things that I shouldn't have said, and I apologize. This is just what I would do, is just say, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, and I have nothing against Scientology, I really don't. But there's a couple of things I don't think you know about that I think it's kind of important you do, because I know you, and I don't think you would be okay with these. And just kind of leave it. Don't say what it is. Just say, I think you would, I know you. And, I think as my family member, you should at least be aware of it. Then what you do with it is up to you, because that's really true. You can't tell her these things happen and think she's going to go, oh, I'm leaving Scientology. It just rarely works that way. But like even in interventions, I've done a few interventions and they're long and they're very slow. And, you have to kind of take it layer by layer and let it settle in with the person. It's an incredible thing to watch. And when they wake up, it's really great. But anyway, that's what I would try, is just say, I need to talk to you. And if she goes, no, you're PTS, say, look, come on. That's a label. I'm what are you, her nephew? I think that would be it, or you're her uncle. I don't know what the relationship is, but you could say whatever you are, I'm that. I'm part of your family. And I'm trying to talk to you as a family member, as a person, not as a Scientologist, because I get that's your thing. And I respect that, just like anybody's going to have a religion. Maybe you're not into it. But my thing is, like, who cares what they believe? Even if they believe in Xenu, it's a bunch of bullshit and we know it, but people follow it. I know independents that to this day, they're like, it works. They love that tech. So I finally had to kind of get my own grip about it and go, okay, so what? It's sort of like many different religions where they believe things that I certainly don't believe. But I thought, okay, that isn't really, because what happened is someone said to me, Magoo, you're a religious bigot. And I said, I am not. This was in 2000, because I was against everything. Anything to do with Scientology. It was all bad, right? And they said, you're a religious bigot. And so then I looked it up and I thought, they're right. With what I'm writing, they're right. And I know I'm not. So then I had to look at, okay, what am I against? And really, I'm against the abuses of the Church of Scientology. And I'm against any abuses for people. You know what I mean? And so then it was easier to speak out, because I'm against stopping free speech, breaking up families, medical abuse, fair game, fraud, and ripping off people for way too much money. That's it. The rest of it, you can have it. If you want to believe it, go for it. It isn't a belief, first of all. It isn't. It's a technology, and you have to follow it to the letter. So, find out where she's at on the bridge, and, kind of just try to not get into the Scientology thing. Just say, I'm just curious. Like, it was probably on the PTSSP course. That's where they have everyone do that immediately. And that clarifies, you can never be connected to an SP. right? Because then you're PTS, like just like this. But you kind of have to try to get her to think a little bit. You know what I mean? All right, now, okay, we got that. Something absolutely needs to be done about the person asking for help. Well, Leo, that's if for sure there is someone asking for help. I mean, it's over to the police. So, we're still talking to them about it, but my guess is it's probably Scientology just trying to do what they're doing, which is exactly this. Less people are talking about Scientology because they're worried about this person in the room with the help sign. If you saw that building, it's a boiler room. No one sleeps in that. Any of that section of the building. When I drove by it, I was like, oh my God, this is not a person asking for help. I doubt they wouldn't put it up in the boiler room, because I just don't think they would. All right, question. We see all the vans transporting people back and forth from the parking garage to AOLA building. It's not that many people. Where is everyone else? Are they forced to use the tunnel? Okay, first of all, there aren't everyone else anymore. That's the problem with Scientology. Because of the internet, that's why they hate the internet, because more and more people can see and watch this video. They may not be on the live stream, but they may be listening. They could be in Scientology and listening, you know what I mean, on their phone. And if you are, I'm just going to say it again, the way out is the nearest door. And L. Ron Hubbard took it. So remember that. He may have said the way out is the way through, but that's just a way to keep you in Scientology. That's all that is. So anyway, I think it's over to the police as far as the person needing help. We see it. Oh, this is about the people transporting them. Are they forced to use the tunnel? No, I really don't. I think only the Sea Org used the tunnel. The public I have never known them to use the tunnel. And the Sea Org are on staff. They're working. So they're just using the tunnel so they don't see any of the. And see, these guys don't use signs that much. That was the good thing about signs. I've pulled up some of them from Anonymous, and they were good. They really were, because it's just sort of like you just need to see one thing, and it kind of goes in your head. So we might bring back the signs. We'll see. But anyway, there just aren't that many people. That's it. We drove from all the way at, I think, Seattle, all the way down to San Diego. And we stopped in every single Scientology place that we could. And they were almost all empty. And this was, I don't know, around, I don't know, it was about 5 or 6 years ago. But even then, there was hardly anybody. They'd have the Ideal Org, and they'd have their big grand opening, and they'd fly in thousands of people. And of course, the Photoshop, it would look like there were millions of people. And then we'd go the next day. This happened. This is a true story. We walked past Pasadena Org, and there were 3 people in there. That was it. There was nothing. I mean, I'd never seen an org so empty. It's kind of shocking. Hey, Moose on the loose. All right. Good. Hi. I'm glad you checked in. I hope you're having a good weekend. And this is Adrian. I love watching Tori with Magoo because I'm in England. All right. So it starts at 8 a.m. here when you start streaming. Wow. So it's midnight here and 8 a.m. in England. Wow. That's amazing, isn't it? It's kind of amazing how the times. I had to kind of learn this because I would call my brother and I think, yeah, he should be up. He's a night owl. And I'd call him and he'd go, Tori, it's 3 a.m. here. Check your time. So now I check the clock and find out. Let's see. Moose on the loose. I love that. Oh, hi. Thank you. That's very sweet. I am too. I'm so happy you decided to stream tonight. It was appreciated. This community is great. Thank you. I know, I think we have a really good community that, especially this midnight with Magoo, I love it. I love that there's people from all over the world. I love each of you. It's a really good group of people. Aloha Tori, love your lives. Yes, education is the key. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. And here's Susan King, another person from, looks like Australia, and an oldie here. All right. I so enjoyed your talks. They are so educational. Hope you have some lovely days without any shenanigans from Osa. I'm so used to their stuff. It's like, it's no big deal. It, you know, it I mean, I told them when I was in, you're making your own enemies. That's what you're doing. And that's what they do. I can walk down the street and they'll be doing something weird. They just do weird stuff. It's like, what is it? It's like, we never did weird stuff like that in the old days. We just didn't. We were busy going up the bridge, and, the Sea Org were busy on their posts, and it was just a different time. Like now I think, frankly, they don't have anything to do. So they just easily get into doing these creepy things. Hey, Tori, New York girl stuck in Connecticut. Wow. I think it's Connecticut, right? Oh, Allie's mom. Oh, sweet. Well, you'll be unstuck soon, I hope. Insomnia in Melbourne, Florida. Wow, I didn't know there was a Melbourne, Florida. Okay, well, go over to Clearwater and you can party with the kids. I'm just kidding. Hi, Tori. Adrian. I love watching Magoo at midnight because it's on at a good time for me, as it starts at 8 a.m. in England. It's another English person. I love that. That's so wild to me. It's really cool. Okay. And here's from Perth. This is good. Hi, lovely beautiful people. Nice. And here's someone from Sydney. All right. Hi from Sydney, Tori. Sorry to hear that the monetization hasn't been has started. Yeah, but she did get she helped me create what do you call it? The Amazon wish list. So that started. You can go on there, and I think it's on under, for more about Tori, and it is. And there's the Amazon wish list. So you can check on that. So we got that. So we got something done. And then my other friend came yesterday, and so we got my email, which, let me show it to you, because DOA and Laura helped me put this on. There you go. There you go. That's underneath, for Tori, information, more information. All right. So now we're going to go back to the comments. I think the Osa shenanigans is because Dave has grown increasingly more paranoid. He's been a screw up since he arrived, in my opinion. He's never been a good guy. Just never. He's never been nice. He's never been kind. He's been nothing but creepy. So, of course, things are going to get worse. Aw, this is nice. Happy weekend, everyone. That's true. Oh, thank you for this. That's nice. I appreciate that. Drifter Shelley, 133 likes and 189 viewers. All right. All right. That's good. And here, 36 Osa. I don't know what that is. What's the 36? Okay. Hello from Scotland. Ooh, did you have a look at the Wi-Fi cameras? I did. And people sent me really good suggestions. So now I just have to work out which one is the best one. But thank you. Thank you to everyone who, different people sent me some donations too. And I really appreciate it. The Amazon link does not work. Oh, bummer. I'm sorry. Oh, you mean the one for my wish list that doesn't work? Fully. That's creepy. Well, thank you for letting me know that. You're a what does it say? You're a plethora of information. Yeah. That is true. I'm 76. You get there. I think you naturally are a plethora of information. Uh, okay, now here's something. Comment. I'm so impressed with you learning all about YouTube streaming. I'm a never in and retired and wanting to go protest, but live streaming is scary. Any advice? Well, it depends on where you live, because if you have other live streamers around you, that's what I did, is I asked Jessica to help me, because I was the same. It's like I had no idea how to do this. And so she came over and actually interviewed me and kind of showed me how it worked. And then it's all on your phone. Or I did it on this is on my desktop here. But you can do it outside. You can film outside and have it be going, and set up StreamYard.com. That's the thing that we've been using. And you can do it either on YouTube and just go to it has a little plus sign at the bottom. You can just hit that and then kind of ask for the tutorials if you need them, because they have tutorials for StreamYard and for YouTube on how to do live streaming. And then you'll just learn, you know what I mean? And then you just do it. You have to just kind of create. I don't know if you have a YouTube site or not, but if you don't, just start a YouTube site. That's why my name is so funky. It's like Tori Magoo 44, because Bunker arrived in 2008 when Anonymous was here. And he said, okay, here's your webcam. He put it on the top of the desktop. And I said, what is this for? And he said, we're going to start a YouTube site for you. And I said, for what? And I mean, this is before people had YouTube sites hardly at all. And I said, what am I going to have a YouTube site for? And he goes, well, we're going to make a video saying Magoo has a YouTube site. And so we did. And, it just kind of grew from there. It was like a little bit more. And now I have over 900 videos and over almost 5 million views. And speaking of that, please like this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, because that's really key. The subscriptions, I want to get up to 25,000. I'm at 24 something. So I want to get up to 25. So if you can share it with your friends, whatever, because it's interesting stuff, there's cool stuff. And then that'll be good. And it's free. So that's good too. Okay, now this is a question. Can people see me because I sent $25 Cash App to Tori, but I don't think she is seeing my questions. My questions are not, I don't think they're hidden at all. I don't think Nomad Forever. First of all, you don't have to pay me to ask for a question. So just post something down here, right here now. Put, let's see, Nomad. Okay, so post something right down there. See where I'm saying Nomad Forever? Like right underneath that, post something. So we could see, there you go. You're right there. That's you. So we're seeing your stuff. And I probably got your $25. I think I did, because I got a whole flurry of them the other day. So I think I did. So thank you. And I'm definitely seeing you. You don't have to pay to ask for a question though. That for me. So, you're on here. Anyway, there you go. So, okay, this is somebody saying, Tori, get Jessica or DOA to fix your Amazon link. I was trying to buy, as I was the first PayPal gifter. Oh, thank you. Swedish Alina. All right. Okay, well, thank you. I will try to get them to. It's tricky because it's like everyone vanished. I don't know whether they all just decided to go out of town or what, but like I know Danny and Leah are on their way to Florida. They're driving all the way from here to Florida. And but usually there's a whole page of people posting stuff, and you can see on YouTube, you can see that they have a live video. And today, almost all day, nothing. So I don't know if they went out of town, if they went to Florida. I don't know. I really don't. And they're not, like Danny said, we'll come on here, but then he hasn't. So I don't know. Me no, man. Okay, so thank you for streaming at night. The rest of us night owls and people in other time zones. Yeah, I think it worked out. It ended up, I'm a night owl, and there were so many people writing in the day. I just thought, I don't really have much more to add that everybody hasn't already covered all day long. So then I thought, well, you know what? I could do Midnight with Magoo, because I thought maybe there's some night owls, and it's turned out it's a really good group of people. I didn't work at the orgs for years. I don't know where you guys get this information. Do you get that there's public and Sea Org? Do you get that? See, public, we work, we live in my house. This is my house. We work, we pay, yes, I have Social Security because I worked for years. I have plenty, I have Social Security, and I mean, I don't have tons, but I have what everybody else my age has, but who's worked. But Sea Org are the ones that don't have Social Security because Scientology doesn't pay into that. I don't know if they now started it because it's probably going to be a big flap, but they should. But I didn't work any years in the org. I mean, I worked for maybe a year or two. I was in the Sea Org for 6 months. Then they routed me out because of epilepsy. Then I got married, and then we were at CCLA, Celebrity Center Los Angeles, as an auditor. I was there non-Sea Org, so it's NSO staff. So I wasn't Sea Org, but I was staff. And then they ended the NSO thing, said, no, we're not going to do it. We're all Sea Org. Okay, so then we went to AO, my husband and I, and he taught the solo course, and I continued auditing. And then I got pregnant, and I said, I got to go. It's time to have my baby. And I became a mom. And that was my favorite thing in my life. It really is. Okay, now let's see. So I hope that explains it. But I didn't work years in the org. I worked years at jobs, but not at the org. I must say thank you for streaming at night. Oh, I already read that. Okay, you are welcome. Okay, hey, Tori. What does this say? Hey, Tori, your highlight worked. My highlight worked? Yeah, Tori, your highlight worked. I don't know what that means, so you'll have to explain that. Just write it on the bottom, because I don't know what that means. My highlight worked. Danny and Leah are live. Yep, they are, and you can pop in and see them. Yeah, I caught you. I caught you on live. My birthday wish came true. Yeah, love my Midnight with Magoo. Aw, that's sweet. From Aussie Fiona. Hi, happy birthday. Hi, Tori. Have you got your security system? No, I haven't. I haven't yet, because I'm still kind of researching it and trying to figure out what's the best one for what I need. So I'm on it, but not yet. I know Dio is working on his van yesterday and ran into difficulty. Oh, bummer. Okay, now here's one. Hey guys, can you come back? Can you back me up, please? All right. Hey guys, can you back me up, please? What do you mean? Can can they back you up on what, Fiona? What is Fiona? What are you asking that they back you up on? And happy birthday to you. But I don't know what they need to back you up on. And here's a question. So right on the bottom, Fiona, so I know what it is. Question, hello from Atlanta. All right. What effect did the anonymous protest have on Scientology? It was enormous. What did it accomplish, or what changes took place as a result of it? Now, I can't speak as far as inside Scientology because I'm out. But I will tell you this, for 8 years, I had been speaking out about Scientology and their abuses, doing interviews, like hour-long interviews with Inside Edition and different TV shows. And they would always whittle it down to like at the most was 15 minutes. And it would usually be 10 minutes of a celebrity, of Scientology celebrity, and 5 minutes of me. And it was always something awful that it was like the worst part of what I said, and I looked the worst every time. It really ticked me off. So when Anonymous hit, it hit the media. I mean, it was just like, it was 9,000 people around the world in almost every major city. So they just couldn't not do anything. So Nightline did a thing with, I think, Marty and Mike and some other people. And, it's just sort of like the media lines opened up. And that was the biggest thing for us, because we finally got to tell our side of the story to different medias. That's what I saw. I know people left because of it. Did they leave in droves? I don't think so, but it definitely opened things up. Okay, now I think they know that most people will be watching the Clearwater streamers, so they may have some days off so they can watch it too. All right, that's fair. That's fair. It's a party. Okay. 44. All right. Nomad forever. I'm 44, disabled vet. I get SAD and veteran pay. Oh, I get SAD, SSD and veteran pay. And I have a bad arm where I was shot. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. I mean that. And I'm sorry you got shot. It's part of being in the service. You know what I mean? It's the luck of the draw. I'm not a big, anyway, I feel bad for you because it's tricky. I hate that our country doesn't help our veterans. I really do. I hate that. I hate that they don't help the homeless, that we have any homeless. And here in LA, we have tons. And I hate that because we have the money here in our country. And if we stop doing these stupid wars that nobody wants us there anyway, in my opinion, and we could put the money towards the homeless, towards our vets who need help and need money and should get it, and feeding people so that everybody is fed every day, and we handle the infrastructure. Those things, those are top on my list. Anyway, all I can say is take it one day at a time. That's what Ida Cameron taught me years ago. She was 85, and her son was in Scientology, and she had been speaking out to the senators before any of us were around. And I met her, and she's a tough cookie. She's a little tiny lady, but tough as can be. And she lived out by Hemet, which is where back then, that was where all the executives were, and Miscavige and shit like that. And so we'd go out there and picket and protest. And then we'd go to Ida's for a party afterwards. And this sheriff came up, and Ida went storming out there, and she had big pictures of Xenu on her house. She lived in a double mobile home, a double wide mobile home. And she had these pictures of Xenu and stuff like that. And she went out on her porch, and she said, you get the hell off my porch. And here's a little 85-year-old girl with this policewoman. She's like, get the hell off my porch. And she goes, then you could talk to me, but not on my porch. And I thought, leave it to Ida, man. She is something else. But she called me every day saying, take it one day at a time. That's it, Tori. Just try to take it a day at a time. And that's the best I can say for you, Nomad Forever. And the other thing is get the book, The Four Agreements, because it really helps me. So I would try it. Okay, now this is, let's see. Question, do you know what happened to the two Scientologists in the Boston video from 2000, right after you got out? One was mean, mugging you, and the other was a camcorder, kept creepy, smiling. Yeah, they both are still on staff, I think. as far as I know. I don't think they ever left. That's as much as I know about them. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, Danny, that I know I was on their live stream. They're really fun. They're having a good time. They're on their way. Yeah, I just popped right on right when they drove into Florida. I said, take a photo. Get a group shot underneath "Welcome to Florida." So they did. Aw, that's nice, Danny. Thank you. Hey, thank you. You guys are all my heroes. All right, comment. Confident Chris did a premiere of one of the episodes of Mini Streets, but he was only for a brief time. I think he's still in LA. Yeah, I saw that with the potato head, right? For Aaron. Yeah, it was funny. I know. I think he's still here, but it's just weird that none of them are making videos. It's maybe because of the whole, Florida thing. That's why I thought, well, maybe I won't do anything because the Florida thing. But then I thought, well, but there's probably going to be a bunch of people that, we're all kind of in the same boat where we're here or you're there, but we're not at the party. So we'll have our own party. So I figured, no, I know my mom, she would have a party. She never let anybody out. She was really inclusive. And I love that about her. Okay, I think this is a question, but I'm not sure. Early riser. As I understand it, Sea Org members are considered church volunteers, so no Social Security. Well, that's kind of a scam, but you're probably right. I don't know if that's true, but I think it's because it's a nonprofit, supposedly, organization and a church. But it could be that they're just church volunteers. I kind of don't think it's church volunteers, though, because they have to sign all kinds of contracts and shit like that. So I kind of think it's more the nonprofit thing, but who knows? Danny, were your ears burning? Yeah, were your ears berry? I think he meant burning. Yeah, they should have been, because it sounds like you guys are having a good time. This is fun. Fiona, I keep telling Tori she's created her own unique United Nations BC. We have come to her channel from across the world. Do you agree with me? I do. I think it's wonderful. It's really been an amazing experience for me. I mean, it's just amazing. I was like, well, maybe 3 or 4 people. Come on. It was like my original parties. There were like 3 or 4 people. And then we had another one and it was like 5 or 6 people. And then people were flying in and it was amazing. Okay, now here's No Face. Didn't you have purple in your hair? What's next? I'm not going to change. I like my purple. I've had purple in my hair since I turned 70 and I'm 76 now. So I'm into it. There's nothing next on that. It's almost like these are a few troll bots. Okay. I'm not sure who you think is a troll bot, but you might be right. I'll try to ignore them. Hey, Tori, just up this morning. All right. Hi, Joe. Evening from New Zealand. Ooh, it's another New Zealander. Oh, it's Sophie. Hi. Hey, good to have you here. Okay, what question would you ask as an auditor? Well, I'm a class 5 auditor, so that's a huge range of questions. If I was doing grades, like grade 0 is I don't know, I can't even remember them, but it's like let's just take rudiments, which are things that you run before you start a session. So you'd say, okay, do you have an upset, or their question is, do you have an A or C break, which is a break in affinity, reality, communication. Now, if you get any reads on that, it's like, okay, what's that? And the person has to look and they're like, well, I'm kind of ticked off at my brother. Okay, well, what happened? Tell me what happened. Well, he beat up our dog and I didn't like that. Okay, so when did that happen? And you just kind of go through the incident basically. And it either F ends, meaning the charge kind of went away, or you go, is there an earlier similar incident? And then you have to look and go, well, he did beat up my rabbit when I was younger. All right, so move to that incident. Tell me what you see. Okay, I see my brother. He's out in the backyard and the rabbit's kind of hopping along and he beats him up. And, and, you know, that really upset me. He didn't really beat him up, but he was just being kind of nasty to him. And I didn't like it. And then the guy goes, but I just realized, it's like he was having a really hard time in school, and I think he was taking it out on the animals. So it's not that it's right, but I get it, and I'm better. And so then the needle floats. Okay, your needle's floating. That's it. Then now his rudiments are in, and then you can check, is there a present time problem? Because that's another rudiment that you want to make sure that a person doesn't have their attention on something like let's say they're parked in a red zone. And you say, okay, do you have a present time problem before we start? Well, my car's in a red zone. Okay, so that's it. We're going to turn off everything and you're going to go move your car to a safe zone. So they come back, pick up the cans. Okay, restart a session. So did you move the car? Yeah, I did. And where'd you move it to? It's in a parking lot where it's like I have 3 hours. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to continue. So are there any other present time problems, which is something bothering you right now? No, I'm good. All right. And has a withhold been missed? Meaning, has there something you've done that you feel bad about that somebody nearly found out about? And it's either no, and then the needle floats, and now you're ready for session, right? Or yeah, and then you have to run through that whole thing. So there you go. That's some of it. So anyway, there's a million questions that I could tell you that I asked. Okay, so Danny, people are saying hi to you. So there you go on that. I'm a slow typer. Me too. I was asking the chat if they agreed with me. We are our own United Nations, BC. We're from all over the world just for you. I got you. I got you. Well, I think you're right. And I think they agree with you. I do. Okay, on your YouTube, remember write question if there's a question. On your YouTube, for the Amazon wish list, you can't click on the link, but if someone is on the computer, they can copy paste it into the search bar. That's what I thought. That's what she said. She didn't know how to make it into a link, and neither did I. But we figured you can copy it and paste it, put it into the Amazon search thing, and then it'll come up, and then you can find the stuff. There you go. So that's kind of fun. That'd be fun. Thank you, though, Christina, for pointing that out, because that's what I thought she and I had agreed on. But anyway, I'm glad you mentioned it. Can you share a bit about Anonymous? I'm fascinated with that movement. Was he one person or a group? It wasn't a he. All I can share with you is what I know. And someone had leaked the video of Tom Cruise saying you're either in or you're out. And he looked really crazy, and it got on YouTube. And obviously the church called YouTube and said, get it off. And Anonymous said, not on our watch. You don't own. And this I know because they made the video. This is Anonymous, and this is to the Church of Scientology. And you do not own YouTube. We do. We the people do. So we're going to show you we do, because we're going to shut down your website for 3 days. And me being anti-hacking as I was, especially then, I made a little post about it, just saying, I think, this is BS. I don't think it's really anonymous. I think it's the Office of Special Affairs trying to distract off of this book that was coming out about Tom Cruise that they didn't want anybody to see. It was like The Other Side of Tom Cruise or something. And so I thought, this is just the church being weird. And so that's when they called me. Anonymous called me and they went, "This is anonymous." And it kind of freaked me out because it was like, I'm in this room, you know what I mean? And it's like, "This is anonymous." And I'm like, ah. But anyway, what they explained is they're not shutting down the website. They're just, it's like one guy wrote me and he described it in a really good way. He said, think about if you were getting on the bus and 300 people got on in front of you. That's all we're doing. We're so many people are getting on the website, it's going to shut it down. But we're not going on their computers and shutting it down. That's just what's going to happen because of the volume. And so that helped me. And so then he said they had some plans that weren't so great. And I said, look, you're way out of your league on this. We got on Skype. So it was like 5 or 6 kids and me. And kids, meaning they were like 20, 25. And I said, you guys are way out of your league. These guys are highly legal. They'll put you in prison if you do anything illegal at all. And so they said, well, what can we do? And I said, let's just do a peaceful picket, because they cannot arrest you if you're peaceful. Now I'm thinking, it's probably 10 guys, right? So then the next thing we do, and I've told this, so to some of the people, I'm sorry if it's redundant, but anyway, we Bunker and me and this other guy got on the subway to go down to the complex because I'm in Burbank. We figured let's just take the subway there so we don't have to worry about parking. So we get on the subway and there's like 10 anonymous guys all sitting very straight with their masks on, and they're all black. And the rest of the subway is like this, like, ah! And they're totally freaked out. And I've got my Scientology Stop Hurting Families. And I say, ladies and gentlemen, everything's fine. These people, we're with these people. And we're actually going to be protesting the Church of Scientology. And they all start clapping. The whole subway was like, yay. So anyway, we ride the subway down to, and we think this is anonymous. It's 10 guys. We think, okay, it's 10 more than we had before. That's good. And the guy had said, we're going to have 500 people here on February 10th, which was the day we were picketing. And we thought, okay, fat chance. So we get on the subway, there's 10 guys. We think, okay, so it isn't 500, it's 10, but it's 10 more than we've had. So that's good. So we get off in Vermont, walk up to the complex, and there's 500 people. It was just unbelievable. I mean, it was unbelievable. For me, it was just like a joy. It was just wonderful. And they all had protest signs and picket signs and banners. And I mean, they were just everywhere. I mean, it was really, really neat. And Bunker had said, there's kind of, you can find it somewhere on YouTube where it's Mark Bunker talking to Anonymous. And he's like basically saying, you guys have got to keep it together or we're going to get in trouble. That's what's going to happen. And so everybody fell in love with Bunker and they started calling him Wise Beard Man and everything. So he was fun. He was really fun. So he is fun. He's still a fun guy. And he's going to be on YouTube pretty soon. So he's got a lot of talk about content creation. And Mark Bunker's got old videos that are going to be fabulous, really good stuff. So anyway, Bunker said, we both said, look, if they just left him alone, they'll be gone in a week. But if they do what they usually do, they're going to pick on him, and these guys will be here forever. And that's exactly what happened. They went to their houses. They followed some of them and went to their homes, got their address, put their name and phone number. About the third day of picketing, or second day, they put their name and phone number on a picket sign. And I said, that's fair game. That is fair game. And so they all just started charging after this guy, fair game, fair game, fair game. It was just a trip. And Scientology just went nuts. I mean, by the second day, or whenever the second picket was, the first picket, it was just like we were on the side of Sunset and they were there. Anyway, it was pretty crazy. But the second time, they had a huge like theater, thing. And they were playing Tom Cruise videos all day while we were protesting. So it blocked the entire street of L. Ron Hubbard Way. So nobody could see out and see the protesters. And of course, people went around to the other side and stuff like that. And then we went down to the HGB. Now, the HGB, to make that worse, it's a sidewalk next to a big tall building. Well, they built out a big wooden thing saying they were doing construction and renovation. So it still blocked a whole lot of stuff, but it didn't work. You know what I mean? I made a sign, honk if you think Scientology is a cult. And so many people were honking. The police came and said, look, you can't do that. You can't have it. And I said, why not? It's free speech. And they said, yeah, but it's also noise pollution and it's just too loud. You know, it was like people were just going crazy honking about it. They don't like them. You know, their neighbors, all the businesses around them, they came over and thanked us and please come back. And Anonymous is still really big in Europe. They pretty much went through the United States, and I think they're pretty big in Europe still. But they're around. They said, you know, if we ever need them, they said, just let us know. They'll be back. Okay, now what does this say? Can you share a link? Oh, I told you that. This is it. Yeah. No, it wasn't one person. It was definitely a very large group of people. 10 a.m. I'm late here to like the video and rewind. All right, Gregory. Good. Good. All right, and who is this? Concerning the Amazon wish list, your address doesn't come up once I go to check out. That's interesting. Well, can you send it to Whole Foods? Because that's the other thing that on mine it has where you can send it to Whole Foods, which is only a couple of blocks away, and then they text me and I can go get it. So let me know if that works. That should work. Now let me see. Now I clicked on the blue thing, so hold on. Okay. Whoa, a whole bunch of stuff came up. Okay. Wow, there's a ton of things. Weird. I tried it that way. It wouldn't work for me. Okay. Tori, your parents sound like they were wonderful people. They were, Sophie. They really were. Yeah, I was really lucky. You know, I lost my dad at a very young age, but I feel like I had just such a fabulous foundation that I'm fine. Okay, Nomad Forever feels bad that the Sea Org are not going to get SSD and their life expectancy is lower than normal. And if they lose tax exemption, they will have to pay in SSI for staff and Sea Org. Well, you know, you can feel bad all you want, but this church has screwed them over and they need to come out. That's all there is to it. It's like, come out and start working. And, you know, yeah, you're right. It's creepy. It's awful, but don't waste your life feeling bad about it. I have a friend who does that every time something comes up. Oh, my heart is breaking. And I'm like, don't let your heart break. I told you that. My grandfather said, hearts of oak. You know, keep your heart strong. And he's a doctor. He was around a lot of people with a lot of problems. He said, number one thing, keep your heart strong. So, I mean, there's compassion. I understand that, but don't waste your life worrying about them. All of us have our choices that we make, and some are good, some are not. And it's like, you can only do what you can do. And those people you can't do anything with. They're either going to come out or they're not. But you feeling bad about it is something that's going to make you feel shitty. This is my opinion. And there's nothing, it's not going to help anybody. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help you. In fact, it makes it worse. And if you have kids, it makes them even worse. Because now, you know, mom's all bummed out and we don't know why. Okay, so now I'm at the wish list where my address doesn't come up, but you can use the Whole Foods, I think. Let me know at the bottom if that worked. Okay. And for anybody on here, if there's anybody saying weird stuff, just ignore them. Don't get into it, because it's just like, I don't have a moderator here tonight, and we don't really need Just don't. I mean, that's a good lesson forever on the internet. It's like if people are weird, move away from the stove. As Jesse said, step away from the stove. Okay, many streets now has shades. Yeah, I know, that was funny. The Florida crew has been quiet today. Well, I think they had to rest. They flew all, I think it was a big, it was a big travel thing for a lot of them. So I think today was kind of, and I know for Aaron, he said he was really wiped out from getting everything ready for everybody. So they're probably resting, and then the party will start tomorrow. That's what I think. All right, now let's see, and we'll see. Tori, your parents sound. Oh yeah, they were. They really were. I always say I'm very, very lucky. I really am. Okay, No Face says beautiful, and rather be Maui says heading to bed. The night owl is getting sleepy. Good conversation as always, Tori. Enjoy your weekend. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Yeah, definitely. And thank you. Thank you. And make sure you like it if you haven't yet. And if you didn't subscribe, subscribe. Okay. Tori after dark. No, I don't like that. It's midnight with Magoo. All right, Tori, I could never picture you in a fake Space Navy uniform. Me neither. That would have been I can't believe I joined even for a minute, but I did. Because I got into Scientology to help people, and their pitch was, look, if you join the Sea Org, you can do it full time. You don't have to worry about working to pay for the rent and buying food and all this other stuff. That's just stuff that's kind of needless stuff. We'll take care of. We have a whole, and they show you their org board and all these things, and all these people will help all that stuff. Also, all you have to do is audit. And to me, it's just sounded perfect. It's like, what a great idea. You can just help people. You don't have to worry about all the rest of that stuff because they have other people that do that. So to me, it sounded good. It did. And the fake uniforms, it was there, but it was just sort of not something on my mind. But remember, I never wore one. I went out on the only, as far as I got was the ship, this old tanker ship out in the LA harbor. And we were doing ship training. And that lasted a very short time because I had to get my medicine. And then they said, all right, you got to get off your medicine before you can come back. And that never happened, thank God. All right, so now here's Sophie. Tori had purple hair before it was a trend. Some people follow trends, some are setting them. Yeah, I had it when I turned 70, which was 6 years ago. Now I see it all the time. People have color in their hair, and that's fine. It's fun. It is. And especially as you get older. For me, that was the thing. It was like 70 seems so weird for me. I thought, I can't handle being 70. And this lady that I had seen out at the Aero Theater had short hair, white hair, but she just had a little twig of purple in it. And every time I'd see her, I think, I love your hair. So one time I was at my hairdresser's almost turning 70. And I said, do you think I could put a little purple in my hair? And he created this color. It's like his color. It's not something you can buy. And you don't really see it much because I pinned it back and stuff like that. But anyway, and it's growing out, but I still have pretty much in there. But he said, I'm just going to have it kiss your cheeks. I didn't want it all over my head. I really didn't. And so that's what it does. It kisses my cheeks. And I like that. And it's always fun because it's sort of tucked away. And then someone will see it, like either a kid or an older man or a 20-year-old, all different ages. And I go, do you have purple in your hair? And I go, yeah, I do. And they go, wow, that's really cool. So it's almost more fun than if you have it like way, that's why I think men stop. And I've had a few men in their cars stop and wind down their window and say, I love the color of your hair. And I go, thank you. But I think that's because they don't like it when people do their whole head because it's too much. It's just, that's what I think. It's just a guess, but so many people have said it to me of all different ages. Okay. Thank you, Sophie. Um, Please help Tori with her algorithm and like this live. Okay, that's good because I don't really know what an algorithm is, but I'll have to learn. It's like me learning with Andreas when I didn't know how to format something. Anyway, um, so I'll have to look that up. Algorithm. Um, okay, here's someone. Rin. Love watching and reading the chat, but my puppy is saying it's time to go lay down and cuddle. So I'm just here listening to Tori. Good night. All right, good night. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. And you enjoy your puppy. That's really sweet. I don't know what EMDR therapy is. You're saying that it's similar to that. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's similar to a lot of things. Hubbard ripped it off, so it wasn't something he created. Do I sleep? Are you asking me? Of course I sleep. I'm very strict on my sleep, believe it or not. I'm a night owl, but I'm very strict on my sleep because when I had seizures for the first time, I was 18, and the doctor, the neurologist said, look, sleep. And now it's a well-known thing that sleep is a very important thing. But back then it really wasn't. And, people stay up all night and they just didn't think anything of it. And of course we were teenagers. And so he said, look, I want you to understand something. For you, you need to sleep 7.5 to 8 hours a day, every night. No matter what time you go to bed, you make sure you get that much sleep in, because otherwise it's easier to have seizures. So I'm really strict on it. That's how I married my husband. I mean, that and my medicine. I mean, that's a great story, but I'm pretty strict on it. And you can see me anytime. I can be at a party or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like, whoop, I gotta go. I gotta get home, because I have a whole routine that I do to get ready for bed and then get in bed and then, rest in bed or read and, just kind of wind down. And anyway, I have my own little sleep regimen that I do, but I'm pretty strict on it. So I definitely sleep. How could you not sleep? I'm always amazed at these people that go, oh yeah, I only sleep 4 hours a day. Not a good idea. Really isn't. Jessica, wake me. Jessica, wake me up is said if she wasn't in a red zone. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying there. I don't know what that is. You'll have to clarify that. Here's a question. It looks like it's a full sentence. What is happening at the building that Miscavige lives behind? I think the building is called Author Services. I see some of the parishioners having walked by there. No one is home. Yeah, that used to be, Miscavige used to live behind that. He doesn't anymore, but he used to. And Author Services was Hubbard's fiction. It's a whole building. Like if you know where the Kodak Center is, and then on down the block, that's where Author Services is, in the next block. And it used to be, excuse me, it was a combination of fiction, his fiction writing, and then they came up with the titanium discs that they have in the vaults in the mountain and all that, with all the tech on it, in case there's a some huge thing, the tech will be safe. So what is happening with the building, I really don't know. I haven't even been over there. The last time I was there, they had a military guy there, and I think I told you guys that. But that was kind of amazing because he was in, you could tell he was a military guy. He wasn't a Sea Org guy. And my friend got kind of irritated with him and said, where's Miscavige? This is years ago. It was before COVID. And he said, I don't know. And he said, well, where is he? It's your job to know where he is. And he got kind of mad. And I thought, oh, this is going to end up with them calling the police. So I just dove in between them. And I said, do you know why we're here? And he said, no. And I said, okay, well, that guy that runs this building and Scientology, they owe me $1 million, and I only have one person that I'm allowed to talk to, and that person won't talk to me. And the guy just went white. I mean, it was really interesting to see how he just like, whoa, he didn't know that. And this CEO guy came running around the corner and shoved him into the garage, pulled down the garage door. It's like, whoa. I thought, I bet you that guy left soon after that, because you could tell he did not know that. So I always tell people, try to educate people if you can. Okay, good chat. It's 10:21 a.m. in Belgrade. All right, cool. All right, here's a question. It's like 1 a.m. over there. Do you ever sleep? Okay, it's 1:43. Yeah, I go to bed I usually try to go to bed. My plan before I was doing Midnight with Magoo was to be in bed by 1 and asleep by 2:30. That was my plan. Now I've got to end off because I do need to get to bed. But it's a little bit later because of what I'm doing with this. But I definitely sleep. I sleep in. I always tell people, don't call me till after 11. All right. Okay, this is Swedish Alini. Okay, you're talking to Christina. Okay. Okay. Love your anonymous mask behind you. Oh, good. On the shelf. Yeah. It was you, wasn't it? What do you mean it was you? Love your anonymous mask behind you on the shelf. It was you, wasn't it? Oh. Yeah. No, it wasn't me. I'm not taking responsibility for that. Sophie. All right. She's talking to someone. Laboratory has people from all over the world. Me too. That's really a joy for me. I'm missing an earring? Oh, you're right. Oh, you know what? I think I put them both in one ear. Thank you. Oh, God, that's funny. Thank you. I had them both in one ear. Thank you for telling me that. Grandma, thank you. I did that one time where I wore the two wrong socks, and I was in Scientology at the time at AO, and people would go, "Do you know that you have on two wrong socks?" And I'd say, "Congratulations for being in present time." And they'd all laugh, because it was sort of like most people never said, whether they noticed or not, I don't know, but I'd make it into this big deal like you're in present time because you noticed it. Thank you for letting me know that about missing my earring. How funny. You need bug rings surround the cult buildings blaring their horns. No, they did that out at Hammett. It was awful. No. I try to be better than them. I don't think we should be worse than them. That's my theory. Okay, here's Miss Sunrise Dawn. All right, hi from North Georgia, everyone. It's 4:30 a.m. here, and I'm getting sleepy, but I wanted to pop in and say hello before going to sleep. All right, I'll come back and rewatch this later. Love you, Tori. Thank you. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. All right, now we should be near the end, I think. Good morning to Miss Magoo from Minnesota. To the marvelous Miss Magoo. Oh, yeah, from Minnesota. Okay, good. That's a pretty area. All right, here's a question. We've almost got to end off, because I got to get to bed. I do. My close cousin, we're both 45-ish, is still stuck into the Jehovah's Witnesses. I feel like they use a lot of the same tricks. They do. Also told her she's in a cult to her face. Yeah, don't. I'm very much not into telling people you're in a cult, because it's like you have to walk them into looking at stuff. If you just say you're in a cult, it's like hit them with the frying pan. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not going to help her look at things. So, but a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses have woken up and left because of my videos. So if you can say, you won't believe these funny videos of my friend, or this lady that I found on the internet. I think you should watch. I mean, you can just ask her, how do you feel about free speech? Oh, I'm definitely a free speech advocate. Okay, if I have a video that I wanted you to watch, would you watch it? And depending, like Scientologists, they'll say no, I wouldn't, because they know it's going to be end data. But she might go, yeah, I don't care. I mean, you could say it has nothing to do with Jehovah's Witnesses. I just wanted your opinion on it because I'm thinking about it. And then have her watch it. Show her Going Clear. You can see that on YouTube. And that's good. And just say, what do you think about that? Because a lot of kids, how I first knew Jehovah's Witnesses were waking up was these kids came on and they said, we were watching you on TV, eating popcorn, making fun of you because we thought, what an idiot. And then one of us said, wait a minute, this is the same stuff we do in the Jehovah's Witnesses. And they all woke up and left and wrote me and thanked me and everything. It was really sweet. And then from then, I've had many, many more Jehovah's Witnesses say they like one mother found me at a gift show and tapped me on the shoulder, and I said, what's up? And she said, I'm part of your YouTube site. And I said, great. I said, what brought you there? And she said, well, I have I think it's just a daughter, and I was trying to get her out of Jehovah's Witnesses. Or no, she had two sons and she was trying to get them out of Jehovah's Witnesses, and nothing was working. And then she started having them watch my videos, and she said they woke up and left. It's kind of like, it's because it's something different than their cult, but it's really the same thing. You see what I mean? So they can on their own realize it, but don't say it's a cult, because that just, it never works. It never works. Oh, this is nice. This is from Miss Sunrise Dawn. I thought you were going to bed with your puppy. Also, Tori, I just wanted to say that I have tons of respect for you and everything you've done to bring down the cult of Scientology. Thank you. You're absolutely amazing and you inspire me. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It really does. Because like I just told my friend tonight who was in the Sea Org, and he's out, and we were talking about stuff. And I said, yeah, people ask me all the time. I mean, what could we say that'll get somebody to come out? And I told him, I said, I always tell them, say whatever's in your heart, because that you think might work. Because if I knew what worked, they'd all be out, and they're not, right? So we know, it's like, just try whatever you have to try. And maybe, it's like things are happening overall. It just takes time. But thank you very much, Miss Sunrise Dawn. I appreciate that. All right, question. Isn't like 1 a.m. there? No, you've already asked me that, and I already answered it. So there you go. Well, all right, this is an idea. I'm watching the old dance flash mob protests. We could make that happen if we wanted to on social media now. I'm not sure how, but get it together, do it. Here's Sophie's talking to somebody else, so I'll leave that be. All right, I think we're almost at the bottom. You obviously haven't watched any of my videos. I just did a complete recap of my escape story. And the least you can do, because you've asked me a couple of questions about me leaving, the least you can do is take time to watch that escape. It's a series. It's like I just did it last month. I redid it. I did it originally in 2010 because so many people asked me questions like this over and over. So I made an escape series with a 10-part series. And now, because it's many years later, a bunch of people said, just redo it. You know, it'll be now, and maybe you'll think of some new things. So anyway, watch that series. I'm not going to answer that question because it's in the series. And you've asked me a couple of questions that I'm happy you're here. Don't feel like you shouldn't ask me questions. It's fine to. But I also want you to get educated on it so that you get, you know, I don't want to have everybody else hear it again because it's like, it's a long thing what happened. But it's in a short video, so you can watch it. It's adorable. Okay. I don't know what it is. Formatting is so yesterday. I guess I never learned it. So to me, it's like, I have no idea. Sorry, bad typing. I was trying to say that Jessica during an audit would not be upset by being parked in a red zone. Right. She wouldn't. You're right. That is very true. That is a fact. I don't have an assumption where Miscavige lives. No, I don't have any idea. And if we knew, we could serve him. So there you go. Question: do you remember meeting Doug Kramer? Of course. He said he saw you at an event and cried on your arms when he spoke with you. Yeah, he's a very wonderful person. I'm sorry he died so young. It's too bad, but we're lucky we had him as long as we had him. And I think his videos are still on YouTube. I think. And maybe he still has up his Facebook site. I don't know. Okay, so all right, this is a computer science guy, but I got to end off pretty soon. So an algorithm, okay, thank you, is a predefined set of rules and processes used to complete a task or perform an operation. When it comes to YouTube, the algorithm promotes videos. Okay. Set of rules and processes to do so. Okay. Doesn't quite handle it for me, but I'll look it up. But thank you for starting it anyway on what it is. All right, here's a comment to viewers, ostensibly depending on the views, interest, likes, dislikes, previous watch history in general. Oh, you're continuing that. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you for all that you do, buckled up buttercup. That's funny. So do you use a Nerf frying pan? No, the point is it would be a metal one if you used a frying pan. Hi, Tori. I really appreciate all you in LA that protest. You seem like such a good group that all get along. We do. It's kind of amazing because everybody's from all over the place. It's not like we're a group that moves around together. I mean, I never saw these people before, and they never saw each other. So it's kind of like Jessica never saw Streets until somehow they came together. But it's kind of amazing how all of us, and we do really get along, and we all really like each other. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, to me, it's really amazing. Okay, and Hans has to go to a funeral today. Not a fun day for me. Okay, all right, Hans, you take care. We'll all wish you good luck on it. Okay, good to know. Thank you, April. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to say good night now and get in bed and go to sleep so that I get my 7.5 to 8 hours. All right, well, thank you all for coming. I think it was a good night. We have 195 people here. That's good. It was way more than I thought. I thought maybe there'd be 5 people, because it felt like there's nobody around you. But anyway, I'm happy you guys came. I really am. Thank you. And good night. And as my dad used to always say, good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. So there you go. Have a wonderful weekend. All right. Bye, you guys. I'm going to end the stream.